Today's video is going to be a story time from a woman who is absolutely in love and wants to marry a man that is in prison for over 200 years. According to the courts, he's not getting out. There's no possibility of parole or another chance. But she is in love with him and she is sticking by his side. Today, Ro is going to be telling you guys her story and her man's story, how he got over 200 years, because you know you gotta wonder, what did you do to get sentenced to over 200 years in prison? It's gotta be something pretty crazy, right? I mean, it's gotta be something crazy. And why would you stick by his side? Why do you want to marry him? Today, you guys are going to be hearing all of that. Now, I want to be clear. This video is only to spread awareness, hopefully deter some people from a life of crime, and also have open, healthy conversations about this subject. Please, please remember to be kind to everyone in your everyday life, at your workplace, in your family, in your home, as well as in the comment section. Please don't show anyone any hate or any negativity, and let's just hear this story. Good morning, my lovelies, my beauties, my friends. My name is Christina and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for clicking on this video. I really hope that you will subscribe, stick around, take a chance on hearing some things that I have to say. And if you are a returning subscriber, y'all already know, y'all are my babies. So good morning, good morning, good morning. How's everybody doing today? I hope you guys are having an amazing day. It's starting to feel like fall here in Florida. I got my sweater on. It's a little chilly. I got my pumpkin spice candles and stuff going in the house, and it smells so good up in here. I know some of y'all don't like pumpkin spice, but I do. Do not judge. You guys let me know what your favorite scents are down in the description box. I want to hear what you guys got to say about that. All right, so today I'm bringing you guys my girl, Ro. This is her YouTube channel right here. It will be linked in the description box as per usual. She is indeed in love and wants to marry a man that's serving over 200 years. Now, I think that this is going to be a very interesting perspective because I know that a lot of you guys have loved ones that are in prison. You love your prison and your jail shows. Your family member has been, or maybe you have been, or maybe you have a loved one, or you work in a prison, right? So it's really cool to see a bunch of different perspectives. And I know we've talked about this, and like we always wonder, like, why do these women like love these men, right? Well, today you guys are gonna hear her story and hear what she has to say from her perspective. Now, to keep from rambling, because y'all know I'll go on and on and on. I just love talking to you guys. We're gonna go ahead and get into this video, but I will meet you guys right back here to talk about what she said.
Hi, my name is Ro, and I am so super excited to be here today. I know Christina says often that she's super picky with the people that she introduces to her audience. So I am so grateful to her and to all of you for giving me this time to share some of my story with you. So before we get started, I want you to think about somebody in your life who you love more than anybody else in the whole entire world. They light up your life. They're your best friend. They're your confidant. They are everything to you. They call you on your crap because they're not a pushover, but they can instantly make a smile spread across your face and your heart happy when you think of them. My person's name is Adam, and he's serving 213 years in federal prison. Yeah, 2 centuries, a decade and a half. So he's been incarcerated for about 20 years, and I've been working to get this case overturned and resolved for a really long time. And not too long ago, I was asked to do a live radio gig for him. And it was in the middle of the day. I was at work, so nothing was gonna stand in my way, not work, not anything. So I snuck out of my office about 5 minutes before I was supposed to do this radio gig. I got in my car and I moved it across the parking lot so this way nobody could interrupt me. Hopefully there weren't anybody walking by that were gonna be waving and yelling or trying to get my attention. I prayed because my office just so happens to be 2 minutes down the street from the firehouse. So I just hope there wasn't a fire. And I dialed into this show. And I get on and it's live. So the host starts the show and he says, "Hey, Ro, hold on a second." Okay, hold on. We're on live radio, but okay. And he calls his co-host over. He's like, "Hey, John, come over here. What do you think somebody has to do to get 213 years in prison?" And John's like, probably do a mass. I'm trying to think of how to say this without getting Christina in trouble, because YouTube's a little particular with their rules and what they'll publish and what they won't. But basically, mass amount of people had to lose their life because of his crime. And the host said, "Good guess. I would think something similar, but nope, try again." So he said, well, then he definitely had to do something to a whole bunch of children. A whole bunch of children had to be hurt or injured by this man for him to get that much time. And the host said, nope, definitely wasn't that either. And the weird thing is, not one person was seriously injured during these crimes. So let me tell you a little bit about Adam. When Adam was in 4th grade, his parents got divorced. It was very, very traumatic for him. And his mother was a power female, and she decided to take a job across all the way on the East Coast in New Jersey. So she moves Adam there, and the move and the divorce and a bunch of other stuff that happened to him as a child was just really traumatic for him, and he started to act out in school. And he was labeled as a troubled kid. And to me, side note, I don't think that there is any such thing as a troubled kid. I think that there is a child who is crying out for help, and it's coming out in these behaviors, these bad behaviors, and they're asking for an adult to take notice and to help them through whatever emotions they're grappling with in their heads. He had a teacher who told him when he was acting up in art class in 4th grade, "You're gonna serve the rest of your life in jail one day." Isn't that a crazy self-fulfilled prophecy? So throughout this time, nobody helped him. Adam was born gifted in many areas, but 2 main areas where he's really extremely gifted are, one, he is super intelligent. He's one of those people that's so intelligent, it's almost scary. His brain works in a different way than the average person. Number 2, he is an extremely talented athlete, extremely talented. He never really had to work very hard to go very far with athletics and also with anything academic. So he was awarded a scholarship to this elite prep school in South Jersey because of sports. And the coach for this school was involved in Italian organized crime. Adam and his mother did not know that at the time, and he took Adam under his wing, and he became very much like a father figure to him. They used to spend holidays with his family. They used to spend weekends together. A lot of times Adam's mother would have to go back to Wisconsin to help family. Her mother was very ill at that point, so she would have to take care of her, and she would leave Adam back in New Jersey under this man, we'll call him Coach K, under Coach K's care. And eventually, Coach K got Adam into a life of crime. And so this progressed throughout Adam's high school years. And a lot of times the cops would get called, but the school and Coach K would protect Adam from any kind of legal ramifications because they were able to hide it all. They were able to brush it under the rug. They were able to protect him because most of his criminal activity went back to them. So there started to be a little bit of tension. When Adam was about 17 years old, he was a junior in high school. And one morning he woke up, he was living on his own at that point in this little apartment. He had this little studio. He was probably out drinking, doing whatever the night before, got home late, Saturday morning, probably around 10 o'clock, the phone rings and it's Coach K. And he's yelling at him, "What have you done? What did you do? I can't believe you did that." So Adam's like, "What is this? What are you talking about?" Whatever. And he hangs up the phone. And he's about to go back to bed, but he said, "Let me just throw on my shoes. Let me walk down the street to the convenience store, pick up a newspaper, and see what's going on." So he sees the front page of that newspaper is this huge scandal where a woman was set up and lost her life. His coach, Coach K, wanted hands washed from this, and he tried to frame Adam for it. And Adam said up until that point in his life, that was the loneliest he ever felt. He had nobody anymore. He didn't have a father. The man who took that role for him, who was so close to him, just turned his back on him. Didn't even just turn his back on him. He tried to frame him for something that he had no involvement with. So he decided, screw this, and he just threw himself into a life of crime. And at that point, that's where Adam and I were dating. My parents were so super strict. They said, absolutely not. You are forbidden to stay around this kid. And Adam, although he was a troubled kid and he was living that life of crime, he still was very loving and protective of the people in his life. And underneath all of that pain and hurt and trauma that was coming out in these criminal acts, he had a big heart. So he pushed me away. He said, no, listen to your parents. I went off to school, and eventually all of that activity caught up with him, and Adam caught a case. On robbery, he got 12 years in New Jersey State Prison. While he was in prison, he met a bunch of people. He was learning how to be a better criminal while he was inside jail. He got out on parole after 3 years. At that point, he moved to South Jersey. But South Jersey, you just go right over this little bridge and within 5 minutes, you're in Philadelphia. That's where he hung out a lot. That's where he was spending most of his time. At that point, he was 21 years old. Most of his friends had gone to college and had come home, and they were living up their lives. And he felt like he needed to make up for all of that time lost. He felt like they went on with their lives and he stayed stagnant because he was in jail. So he just lived it up. He partied it up. One night, he was out at a club in Philadelphia where everybody who was from either South Jersey or Philly or the surrounding areas would hang out. And these two guys that he was in prison with in New Jersey State came and they found him. And they hung out with him, and of course he entertained them all night. And at the end of the night, they said, we have an idea. They came to him because they had this idea for these robberies. They wanted to rob criminals, and they needed Adam's brain to help them come up with this master plan. And Adam went back and forth in his head. He didn't really want to have anything to do with it, but he figured, what the heck? They glamorized this, and they said, listen, we'll just do it over this course of 3 weeks. We're going to hit this place, this place, this place, and this place, illegal establishments. I don't know if I could say them on YouTube, but he was robbing criminals. They were Asian organized crime, and that's as far as I'll go because, again, I don't want to get Christina in trouble. I'm so grateful she's letting me even share this story, and YouTube's a little funky with their guidelines on what I could say. But basically, in their warped young minds, they thought if they were robbing criminals, then they weren't really doing that much wrong. Now, of course, 20 years later, Adam knows absolutely that was wrong. Oh my gosh, I caused so much trauma to the people that I was robbing, even though they were criminals as well. It wasn't up to me to decide that they should be victims of criminal activity too. But back then, they decided that's what they were going to do. So over the course of 3 weeks, between the end of January and early February 2000, they committed these robberies. They did 7 of these illegal establishments. Then the 8th one was a restaurant, and it was a personal thing that one of those 2 co-defendants that were from New Jersey State that came up with this plan and presented it to Adam to mastermind it, according to them. It was something personal that he had with the owner's son at that restaurant. Adam didn't want to do it. Again, they talked him into it, so he did it. The last and final one was 3 days before Adam was getting off of parole. He had this plan to leave South Jersey because there were just way too many bad influences for him. He wanted a fresh start. He had a girlfriend at the time. It was not me. I'll get back to that in a minute. He had a girlfriend at the time. They were going to move to a suburb of Philadelphia. They had a house already, and he was going to live a straight and narrow life and just give it a chance to be a normal, productive young adult. So they came to him and they said, just one more, man. He had the flu. He had the flu. It's 3 days before parole. He said, no, it's a bad idea. I don't feel well. Again, they talked him into it. Fine. Last one, you guys. And then I'm it. I retire. I'm going out to the suburbs and I'm going to live a normal life. Well, that's the robbery where they got caught. So they go in to rob this illegal establishment and the police came. And nobody knew who were the patrons of this place and who were the people that were robbing it. Originally, they thought that the robbers got away. So they were holding all of the patrons, everybody that was there, they were holding them in police cars in the back of the building, in the parking lot. And Adam said he's in the back of the police car with another guy. And so he says to the guy, just playing it cool, because nobody knew it was them. He said, what do you think your girlfriend's going to say? And the guy said, oh, she's going to be so mad. He said, well, just call her and tell her you'll be home for dinner. Tell her you'll be home in time for dinner. Everything will be fine. And he sees out of the corner of his eye, there were 5 co-defendants, Adam and 4 other guys. So he sees some of them and he's just telling them, just calm down. Everything will be fine. Just calm down. And so he looks over and he sees one of the co-defendants, one of the 2 mastermind guys that he met in prison back in Jersey State, talking to the police. And next thing he knows, he's getting ripped out of that police car, put in cuffs, and he's taken downtown. And they put him in this little room and they start questioning him. And then they handcuff him to a desk and they leave him. And they send a detective in and they're questioning him and they said, you know, you can get out of this. If you just talk, if you snitch on such and such person, this drug dealer that he had no idea who this guy even was. And Adam said, no. So he said, all right, you're going to do that because you had a gun on you. We can enhance you up another 205 years on top of the 8 for robbery. Because what happened was originally this was a state case, but because Adam had the money, the stolen money from Philadelphia, and he carried it 5 minutes to home over state lines, it became federal. The feds could come in, the feds could take this case, and the feds could try to get him to snitch so they can lock up a drug dealer that they were trying to get for years that Adam didn't know. So he said, no, I'm not doing that to anybody. And I need to interrupt myself. There is no way that I am glorifying what he did, that I am glamorizing what he did. I am not justifying what he did or the reasons behind it. I am telling you his story from my perspective. If he was telling you this story, I'm sure it would be very different. So please know that everything he did was wrong. Please know that he has so much remorse for these crimes. He was just a misguided youth who acted out because of a lot of trauma in his life. So anyway, they go back to that room where he's handcuffed to a desk and he can hear the officers and the detectives talking outside of the door. And he said that topped that time where Coach K tried to set him up for that awful crime. When that was the loneliest he ever felt in his life, he said this topped that. It was the most painful, alone feeling that he ever felt. He's handcuffed to a desk. They're taunting him. They're trying to nail him down to this life sentence for robberies that were bad, but nobody was hurt because they want him to talk about somebody that he doesn't even know. So he takes his handcuffs and he pulls the desk over to the door and he listens to hear what they're saying. And all he can make out was, this kid's screwed. Make him talk. Make him talk or we're gonna throw the book at him. Screw him. So they come back in one more time. hours later, because that's what they do. They didn't give him anything to eat. They didn't give him anything to drink. And I'm not saying they should when they're interrogating a criminal, but what I'm saying is they wear you down physically, mentally, emotionally. They're chipping away at you so that you'll finally either just spill it and speak because you're exhausted and you just want out of there, or that you give yourself up. So Adam said, no, it's not happening. I'm not talking about somebody I don't know. I'm going to take it to trial. The guy was like, good luck. You're not going to talk? We're going to get you. Go back to your cell. And that's what they did. They let him go back to his cell, and he took his case to trial, and he lost because in our country, in the United States, I've been told by a lawyer who works on Capitol Hill, who's worked with the White House, that you get punished for going to trial in the United States. If you don't play along with their game, you get punished. And he got the book handed to him. So how did I get back involved with him? I was away at college when he went away to prison that first time. When I came home, he was already gone. We lost touch. So I had a really good friend who her boyfriend just so happened to get locked up at Allenwood, where Adam was at that point. And she got us, through him, she got us back in touch. And I will never forget, it had been 10 years since I had seen him when I went to go visit him the first time. And I was so nervous. And I remember the guy, my best friend's boyfriend who's locked up with him, he was a bodybuilder. And at that point, I was competing in fitness competitions. And he used to come to my shows and he would see how I looked. And for some reason in his bodybuilder head, he thought that it was really hot to tell Adam, yeah, she's so different now. She's got this 6-foot lat spread. I was teeny tiny when I competed. I don't know where he got this from, but I guess in his bodybuilder mind, that was hot. And I remember I went into the bathroom. I will never forget. I was wearing, back at the time, the really wide flared leg jeans were really popular. And I was wearing this short sleeve blazer with puffy sleeves with these big buttons that went down the front. Kind of like I was trying to be royal family-ish, I guess. And these salmon pink heels, because I always told Adam how much I loved my heels, and it became our thing because I'm short. So, and he's really tall. He's 6'4", I'm 5'3". I remember I went into the bathroom, and as I'm coming out of the bathroom, I see him look me up and down, and he just smiled. This genuine Buster Brown, adorable smile. And I knew that right there, I just knew that it was like no time had ever passed. I knew that this was meant to be. And I will never stop fighting for Adam. So I don't want this to be a story of him being a victim, of me being a victim. This is a story of second chances and redemption. And although there is nothing in the cards at the moment substantially, we have a few things that are lined up that could help us get him home soon. Let's hope. I have a petition. We're working with a lawyer who is just about to file some paperwork for an appeal and then for compassionate release on November 1st. So I will keep you guys up to date on my channel of everything we have going on. I promise this will be a second chances story. You will be hearing and seeing more from Adam and myself. I promise you. This is a story of hope. This is a story of tenacity and fighting hard for what you want. Let me tell you this. I will leave you with this. I come from a long lineage of strong females. My grandmother was 42 years old when she gave birth to my mother, and her twin brother, the way the story goes is in the fields of Italy, and then went right back to work after having her babies. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. That's the story that I was told. Then you have my mom, who had 6 kids without any drugs, because over the course of the years that she had all of us, there were no such thing as epidurals back in that day. That woman fought until 3 weeks before she died. She had a mastectomy, went right back to work within 2 weeks. She was on chemo, she was on oxygen, and she told her patients, she was a dental assistant, she told the patients when they came into the office, she just had a little bit of asthma. I'm telling you that to say it is not in my blood to not fight. Adam and I are not legally married because I will marry him out here. I will not stop fighting for him until the day he comes home. And I promise you, him coming home is worth me fighting for and getting my dream wedding out here. And I promise you guys, I will take you along for that ride. Now you guys, go call your person, the person you love more than anything else in this whole entire world, and tell them how much you love them, how much they mean to you, and how much you appreciate them. Because I can't. But one day, I'll be able to pick up the phone and I'll be able to call my honey. I promise you that. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for taking your time and listening to my story. And again, to Christina, thank you so much for allowing me to hijack your channel today and to tell my story and Adam's story. I love you guys so much. All of Christina's babies are my family too. So you guys have an amazing day. Bye.
All right, you guys, that is a crazy story. Now let's be real. Did he commit crimes? Yes. Does he deserve time in prison? In my opinion, oh, absolutely. Quite a bit of time too. Yeah, he does. But over 200 years and you didn't even actually hurt a person. Did he hurt businesses? Yes, he did, which is why I feel like he should have his prison time. But you know, there are people, and not to minimize his situation, because like I said, he should be in prison. There are people that really hurt people that get less time than that. You know, like, I just don't know. It seems like an excessive amount of time, over 200 years, you know, and I really hope that he changed while he was in there, and Rose says that he has, and I do hope that he gets a second chance, you know. You can only imagine how much taxpayers' dollars that it's costing to house people like him in prison for over 200 years, which is basically a lifetime, however long each person lives. I mean, it's a lot. Now, I do want to be a person that stands behind our judicial system, but that does not mean that I agree with every little thing that they do. You know, I'm very thankful for our police force. I'm very thankful for our judicial system and the judges and the clerks and everybody that helps keep America in order and as crime-free as possible. But sometimes things and cases do make you go, I mean, come on. So for all of you guys out there that maybe have loved ones, or you've been to prison, or you just want that different perspective, you guys can go and check out Rose's Instagram or her YouTube channel. They will both be linked down in the description box. She is a very hard-working, just tell it to you like it is type of woman. I really respect her. I got a lot of love for her, and I think she's an incredible woman. So if you guys are interested in that, you guys go and check her out. Make sure to let her know you came from Baby Gang. All right, you guys. I hope that you guys like this video. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Please remember once again to be kind to everyone. Even if their opinion is different than yours, still be kind. And as always, please don't forget to like this video. It's a free way that you can help your girl out. And until next time, I love you guys so very much. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
We are nothing more than dust.